Today on In the Wood Yard, I've got a wood delivery and we're sharpening chainsaws. Here we go. So today has been a very cold, blustery, wet, rainy, miserable day, and I have not worked outside all day. It's already like, I don't know, 2:30 in the afternoon, and I had a customer that told me I could deliver wood anytime today, and it was supposed to be raining most of the day. So I told him we're gonna wait till it stops raining or there's a break in the rain, and it stopped raining about an hour ago now. So I'm gonna load up a little bit of oak, and I'll load up a little bit of cherry and a little bit of maple, because he said I want hardwood, just give me a mix of good stuff. So that's what he's gonna get, because I got a little bit of a few different kinds left over from some piles, so that'll make a face good for him. So I'll just throw it into my truck and then we'll go deliver that. Then when we get back from that, my chainsaws need sharpening, and I haven't done a video on sharpening for a while, so I figured I would do a little bit of that. Now that I got my new camera, I'll be able to do some really close-up stuff and show you some things on the tooth when you can see how nasty it looks and how good it looks once it's sharpened. So gonna do a little experimenting today with my new camera, so that'll be kind of cool. So that's what we're gonna do after we get this wood loaded up and delivered. So time to get busy. So I got the wood loaded, and I'm going to be talking here, but my mic wasn't working, so I'm just doing a little voiceover here. It's cherry, maple, and oak. It's a good load. I'm going to go deliver it, and when I get back, we're going to get right into sharpening, and that's what you're going to see next on the video is a dull chain, and we're going to make it sharp right now. So what I want to show you here is what a tooth looks like up close. The top plate right here, you can see it's got scarring across here, and the tip is gone, and the top, was still good. I mean, this tooth has still plenty of life, but you can see the edge here is how rough it is, and I'll show you after I sharpen. I'll go to another one here. Here's another one you can see, and see if I can find my pointer here. There we are. This edge too here, you can see how rough this is. That's from running onto a rock, which I did purposely just for demonstration purposes here. You can see how rough that is there. And this should be a straight line across with the top plate just smooth. Go to another one here. Here is another one that's, you can see how rough the edge is there. And the tip's gone. And when you go to feel it, just to give you a feel what my finger looks like, I mean, it doesn't stick at all. There's no stick to it. There's no cat claw grab when you run your finger across it. It actually doesn't. I have to push hard, and it still doesn't cut me. See how far I'm pushing down my finger? It still doesn't cut me. I mean, if I push this hard on a sharp tooth, it would dig right into my finger and it would cut me. Here's another one. Another one. You can see the rough edges there from where the top plate ran across the stone. Actually, I cut into some cement is what I did, just to show you how I can sharpen. So there you go. You get to see what the rough ones look like. Here's another one. You can see how rolled this one is here too. It's kind of a rounded tip, and that whole tip is gone. Here's another one. Oh, that's got a little bit of fiber in there, probably from my shirt. But still, I'm just rubbing on it like this, and it's not even very sharp just doing that. But you can see how the edge on this one has gone too. It's rounded. I've seen worse, but this is pretty bad. Usually when you hit a chunk of metal or a rock, it takes the tip right off. But this is pretty common. You'll see it like this if you hit the ground. There's one. This one right here is not too bad. It still has a little bit of a point right there. You really want that point to be pronounced. Here's another one that's pretty rounded right here. You can see it's pretty rounded off. Right there. This one's got a big gouge out of it right There, you can see it's like a big cavity, see that big chunk out of there? So that's the one I'm going to start with, because that's the ugliest one right there. I'm going to sharpen this one. I'll show you the before and after. So I'll sharpen this one up right now with the Dremel, and then I'll show you how I take it down and show what it looks like once it's sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this tooth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, this is going to be the tooth that we're going to sharpen. I'm just going to put a little mark on it so you know that's the one that we sharpen, or the one that I should sharpen. And we'll show you the after, so you can see the gouge out of that there. It's pretty big cavity there. So we'll sharpen her up now. So there, now you can see, let me get my pointer here again. You can see that the gullet has been got. It's nice and it's good there. And the tip, I got a little bit of a nub right there, you can see, but that there, it just fell off. But now this line is straight across. Might not match that perfectly, but it's straight across. I'm doing this literally with my Dremel is right up against the camera lens here, trying to sharpen this in here. But now you can see how that chunk that was missing right there, I mean that big cavity that was there is gone, and the top edge is now straight across. I'll see if I can position the camera a little better here so you can see if I can move the, there we go. Now when I put my thumb into it, it's just instant grab. I mean, when I touch that, it's instantly grabbing my skin and peeling skin away. You can hear it, I can feel it, and you can hear it cutting. So you can see that edge there, and it's shaving my skin off my finger now, because it's sharp, very sharp. The whole edge is sharp all the way across the whole tooth, from the tip, which is where your cut starts right here, all the way across, and the gullet is nice and matching, really good right there. So that's got good sharpness on it. We'll do another one. Okay, so now I'm going to sharpen the next tooth, go in the other direction, which is this one right here. And you can see it's not as bad as the last one, but it's got a rough edge there. So we'll see what I can do. I'll try to, I got to come from the back side. I'm normally sharpen the bottom side of the camera, but I'm going to reach across and see if I can sharpen this. This is really going to be awkward, but I'll see if I can make it work coming from the other direction here. See what happens. That was next to impossible to do because I had to do it left-handed. I am not left-handed. So now you can see the edge here. Well, I can tell now by looking it's not that great. Let's just feel it once. Oh, it's pretty sharp. I mean, it's got a little bit of a rounded top here. I mean, this stuff up on top, the burr up on top, that'll just come right off. But the tip is not bad. It could use a little bit more. I can feel it. It's not quite there yet. You can still see a little bit of a little rough edge right through there. I don't know if you guys can see that right in through there. Still a rough edge. So, and I was just barely touching it before. So this time we'll give it a little bit more. I'll push on it a little bit more. There we go. I kind of polished the top a little bit so it's easier to see. I took a little bit off this edge, but that tip is, yeah, I can even, if you slide this piece of metal, this pointer I have here, if you slide it across, it's actually pretty smooth now. It's got a little bit of roughness. Yeah, it's starting to get better now. Now I'm starting to feel my my thumb is getting peeled. So still got a little bit of a tip problem there yet. It's still not quite all the way, so I need to take a little bit more. And again, I'm just barely touching this, and I'm doing it backwards, so it's really difficult to do for demonstration here, but I'll give it a try again. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, she's getting sharp now. It's still got a little bit of a rough edge though. Maybe it's because I'm doing it backwards. I usually come from this side and I'm used to pushing that way, but it's not bad. It's still a little bit of roughness there. Let's just check the tip. It feels like it's sharp, but I can feel a little bit of an edge there. And for those of you that say, oh, you're heating that tooth up too much, you're losing the temper, well, I just was grinding on it. Look, my thumb is on it. It's not hot. It's just warm is all it is. It doesn't get that hot. You're not going to lose your temper. Well, you might lose your temper if you don't have a sharp saw. Well, there's the first one. That's a beautiful one. So here I got another tooth, a different one, and this one I should be able to sharpen regular. I'll be able to come around from the on my right-hand side, which should be a lot easier, because for that last one I had to do it left-handed. So I'll see if I can even get in here with the... Holy smokes, I'm rubbing right against the camera here, so we'll see. Just got to move a little something here. Move this out of the way. Now let's see if I can get in there, because I'm literally got the Dremel motor right up against the camera body here. So basically I just try to go back and forth and hit the full length as I'm grinding. I got to move the camera just a smidge. I can't quite even get in there. There we go. Now I can get in there just a little bit, just barely clearing. So now we'll give it a little bit of sharpening here and see what happens. Get that tip, you can see it. That's a little better. That's a little better. So now you can see here, grab my little pointer, so that you can see right here, this edge is smooth now. It's just, yeah, it's smooth. There's no roughness on that edge. And I'm right out to the tip there, right there. And it's good. It's smooth all the way across. And again, when you stick your... This is the way I find out anyways. You take your finger and just kind of rub it backwards against the tooth like this. And if it grabs or it sinks right in and wants to cut you, it's pretty darn sharp. And so that's what I do. Now we're going to do the whole chain, and I'll show you how long it takes me. We'll do kind of a time, not a time lapse, but I'll just do the whole chain so you can see. And this is a 24-inch bar, so it's got, I don't know, what is it, 44 teeth, something like that. So we're going to mark the tooth. That's the tooth I'm going to start with. And this is a different chain than the one I was working on just a while ago. This is one that's not too bad. It's dull, but it's not sharp either. I mean, I can feel the teeth they're kind of there, but it needs a little touch up. So that's what I'm going to give it, a little touch up, because a little bit more sharpness, is going to be a good thing. Let's see if the camera's still on. I kind of bumped it there. There we go. It should be good if I keep the tooth right about there. So I'm going to try to keep the teeth in the same place every time I sharpen. So here we go. It's 44 teeth. We're going to sharpen all of them. I started. So there, that's how long it takes. I don't know if you guys are probably going to time me. I'm guessing it was 2 minutes maybe. That's about what it usually takes. But now they are all razor sharp. I mean, they got a nice tip on them now. And this chain is not a new chain. It's pretty old. You can see it's getting pretty wore down if you look at how far I've got to go. I mean, it's pretty much just about done. Some of the teeth on this side here are much shorter than the ones on that side. I must have hit a rock or something a while ago, but now those tips are sharp. And then, like I said before, I mark it with my first tooth. I mark it with a Sharpie, and so I know where I start and stop. And then the next thing I do once I'm done is I'll take my gauge here. Oops. Take my gauge. I think I got that in the middle. And I put it over the tooth like this, and I kind of feel to see if my rakers or my I always call them rakers, depth gauges are sticking up, and they're just starting to touch a little bit. They're not really up. I mean, I could take them down just a smidge and it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, they're just starting to get to where I can feel them sticking up just a smidge. And I'm going to touch this one up just a little bit just so you guys get a little bit of an idea here. If I put the gauge on there and just feel that. Yeah, it's just starting to come up. So the way I do that is I have a bunch of these different files, just a flat file, and it's smooth on this edge, so obviously you're not hurting your tooth if you hit it. But I cut everything on this side first, so I'll do a stroke here, and then I'll pull it forward, skip this tooth, go to this one and go forward, but I'm actually going to start right beyond this, this one I have marked here. So I'll start with the one just behind that. So basically it's just like 2 strokes and that's it. And then I go to the next one. 2 strokes, and I can feel they're smooth enough, they're not bad. It's not taking much off, it's just a little tiny bit. I try to do about the same amount on all of them, usually just 1 or 2 strokes depending on how far they're sticking up. And I can just start to feel it sticking. So just a couple, and I'm not pushing hard either, just give it a real light. That one's sticking up a little more than the others, I could tell just when I feel it. See, that's going the wrong one there, that's why. There we go. Did the wrong tooth there a couple times. So doing this is actually going to take longer than it does to sharpen it. And I wear gloves all the time when I'm doing this for my hand that's touching the chain, because you will get cut. Unless you've got hands of leather, which I don't have. I'm just an average guy. I don't have leather hands like some guys do. And this is the last one, because there's the starting tooth. Now, I'll spin the, I'm not going to be able to do it now because I have to spin, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to show it. I have to spin it all the way around, then I have to stroke this way for this side over here, for the right hand side as you're facing the saw. So I'll give it 2 strokes there, and then I'll go to the next tooth and I'll give it 2 strokes there, going this direction, but I can't get in it because the camera's in the way, so I'm going to have to spin the whole thing. So that I'm going to do that right now and get that done. Okay, so now I put the chain that I started with, the really nasty one that I ran on the cement, just to scar it up for you guys. So these teeth are going to definitely take longer to sharpen than the last one. The last one was just a touch-up. These actually have chunks out of them. They're really super rough. I mean, they're bad. There's a couple teeth here I was just looking at, like this one right here. It's just all jagged and the tip is totally gone. Might be hard for you guys to see, but that's a nasty one there. The next one's pretty nasty. This one here you can see is all rough and rounded right here. So I'm going to go back to my red tooth here that I started, and I'm going to sharpen this whole chain. Now this will take a little longer than the last one because it is so bad. So we're going to start up the Dremel here and I'll sharpen this. So go ahead and time me, see how long it takes. Probably going to take 3 minutes to be my guess. Oh, and for those of you that want to know, this is an Oregon tip. 7:30 seconds, here's the package. So see, it's 7:30 seconds. You get 3 in the package. So there's one been taken out of here, and you can see it's still pretty good, but when they get really worn down and you have to change them out, they look like this. So you can see the difference there. They look like that. See, that's getting all worn down. I save these because I use these for grinding other things down if I need to grind something. But, you know, I got a bunch of them. So when they start to get worn down, I just change it out because you don't want to be having that small diameter trying to sharpen 7/30 seconds because you're down to like half of that eventually. And I get about, somewhere between 3 and 4 sharpenings, sometimes even 5 if they're not too bad, sharpenings with one bit, which is similar to a file. These are about $6 for a 3-pack, and a file costs a couple bucks, so these are a couple bucks a piece. And with a file, a decent file, you know, you're going to get 3-4 sharpenings with it. So it's about the same cost. It's just that this is so much easier, so much faster. This is a Dremel 3000. I also have a 8100, I think it is. Yeah, this one right here, the 8100. This is a battery pack unit. This is the one that I use when I go out in the woods. I take with me for doing touch-ups, and I can get about 3 sharpenings out of this also. So it's just a rechargeable battery that I have. And then I've also got a Dremel 4300. I got 4 different ones here, but this is the one that, I don't know, I just started using this one. I got a couple other ones, but this is the 3000. You get a Dremel for less than $100. So now we're going to go ahead and sharpen up this next set here, and you can go ahead and time me on this one. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention too is when I'm cutting or grinding, you'll see smoke come off of the tooth because it's getting warm. What that is that's actually buildup of wood that's on the back side of the tooth that's burning off. But it doesn't get that hot. Like I say, you can put your hand on it and it doesn't burn you. I mean, they get warm. I mean, they might get just a little warm, but I've never had a problem with a tooth breaking because of lost temper. I mean, what do you think they sharpen teeth with in the factory when they're brand new? Do you think they're using a file, or do you think they're using a grinder of some sort? I highly doubt they're using hand files. This is probably what they're using. I mean, they're probably using a tool to sharpen them. They're probably using diamond ones would be my guess. But, so here we go. We're going to sharpen this one up. So we're going to start on this tooth right here. That one's pretty sharp already because I already did it. This one is not too bad. You can see there's a couple burrs there. There we go. This one's pretty bad, I can tell. And again, I'm not pushing hard. I'm just kind of tickling it here. Chain needs to be tightened up a little bit loose. So that one's good. This one's really bad here. This one's got big notches out of it. They gotta take it back quite a bit. And again, I'm just gonna touch the top of it so I can see where the edge is. We'll just real lightly go over it. So what happens, you get a little bit of a burr buildup. That was really bad. When you're sharpening, you'll see an edge develop. It'll be like a white line right across the top here. And this one's actually rounded because it's so bad. I'm just really cranking on it here. There we go. That's better. These are really bad, man. What happens when you try to dull them by cutting on cement? So you can see these tips just need a little bit more. So I'm taking these back probably a good, 64th or 32nd of an inch I'm taking off here to get it sharp. Like one of the worst things you can do is cut cement or a chunk of steel. So that's still more. trying to grind and watch the screen on the camera at the same time so I can make sure I'm in the center. It's kind of hard to do both things at once. That tip still needs a little bit more. So now we're getting the point down. The tip wasn't all the way out to the tip, it was kind of rounded on the tip there. This one's pretty darn bad, man. It's way bad. That would have taken a lot of filing to get that one down, I tell you. Most of these actually, they're taking quite a bit of tooth off. Yeah, and that happens sometimes. Another reason you want to wear gloves. It came off the tooth and hit my glove there. You can see where it polished it right there. It would have been not a good thing on the hand. And I am wearing safety glasses and ear muffs. Okay. This one is bad, man. Might be the last time I ever do a demonstration for you guys cutting cement just to show you how to sharpen teeth. And these are bad. You really got to come down quite a bit. There we go. And I got the top plate flat, and I got it even with the notch in the back there, the line that you're supposed to guide, because it was very crooked. I'm taking so much off, I'm taking big chunks of steel out here. There we go. And normally I would never do this, but I'm just trying to get that. Trying to get the top edge so that it's flat. There we go. So it takes so much back, it was starting to curl back on me. There you go. I can see the edge starting there again. Ooh, this one's really bad. This one's like half the tooth is rounded off. Couldn't be much worse than it is. Just lost half the tooth on that one. That was bad. Really bad. And we're back to the original tooth. And it's done. Now that was a lot of grinding. That was a lot. I mean, that's about as bad as a... Ooh, they're sharp too. That's about as bad as a saw can be. That one right there needs a little bit more. See it? I think we're good now. Yeah, I feel these, they all are nice and sharp. They dig right into your hand. Yeah, they're sharp. Pretty good. Now I'm gonna check the depth gauge, but I'm 99% sure the depth will be just fine, because when I ran over the cement, the depth gauge just got ground down too. Yeah, they appear to be just fine. Yep. Yep, they're all good. Check a few more. Yeah, they're below. Yeah, they're below the. Yeah, now a lot of people will take their file and then they file right across like this. But you just barely touch the tooth, and this gets wore down eventually, so I just like to feel it. If it's sticking up just a little bit, then I take it down just one stroke or two strokes across all the teeth. So there you go. That's about all I know. That's enough sharpening for today. Okay, so I'm hand holding the camera because I can't get close enough when I got it on the tripod. So I want to get as close as I can to these teeth here. And you can see this tooth, if I can come around to the side. See this tooth right here, it's got a nice tip on it. It's digging in instantly into my skin. It's sharp. I mean, that's what you want. I'm going to go to the next one here. Here's the next tooth going the other direction. You can see that one digs in instantly too. Here's one right here that's sharp too. So those are pretty darn nice. Now it's hard to see on the camera, especially with me moving around like I am. But there's really no way to substitute your eyes for getting up close, especially if you wear a pair of cheaters or bifocals like I do when I'm cutting. But these teeth all appear to be pretty darn nice. So, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're a lot sharper than they were. So now normally when I sharpen, this is the only light I have on. I have this one on and just the room lights. But because I'm doing the video here, I want as much light as possible, so I'm using a big umbrella light right over here, and then I got a big hot light behind my back here to get so you guys can see the chain. Because normally when I sharpen, I'm sharpening like right up against my vise here. I put the tip of the saw right up against here so it doesn't move on me. So I'm sharpening, 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 and then I'll pull the chain through, push it back up against the vise here so it's solid, so nothing's moving. But when I did this for the demonstration for you guys, I had this backwards than I normally do because the vise was in the way with the camera. So I did this direction, and I sharpened coming across like this over the top. No, like this. I was over here, and the camera was over on this side over here, so I'm sharpening like this, kind of the opposite of what I normally do, so it was a little awkward. Plus the saw is rocking and everything, so for demonstration purposes it was just better. I'm going to come up with a better way to show you a better demonstration with the Dremel real soon, and I think I'm going to do it on my table saw. I'll put some black mount board down so that the saw is nice and dark and you get a good view from the camera so you can see what's happening. And I think that'll be even better yet, and I'll be able to work all the way around the table saw because I can lower my blade down on it, and I have a bigger work surface area because this I'm right in a corner here. There's really not much I can do here. I'm kind of tight into a corner. Those are all my excuses for today. That's all I've got. So hopefully you were entertained. Hopefully you learned something. We did a little delivery. We did some sharpening, and I did some nastiness sharpening on some really bad teeth. So that's kind of cool. So that's it for today, folks. You know what to do. Hit the buttons, do the poking thing, hit the like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to be back in the wood yard. You should come on back. Between now and then, get outside, get cutting. Good night, Irene.